Great. Well, thank you for being here today. I'm Andy Strauss. I'm the president of Goldner Associates. And today we are going to be focusing on one of our top suppliers named PCNA, Polyconcepts North America. Many of you know them by their lines, Leads, Bullet Line, ETS Express, which they acquired last year, and journal books, and an apparel line called Trimark. And so they're one of the biggest vendors in our industry. We work with them, one of the few that does an excellent job at both hard goods, the promotional products, as you know, and the apparel. So we're really excited to have them with us today. We have 4 different speakers that are going to be here and take us through this little journey. As you each see things that you like, please write them down, make notes to yourself, and then you can, of course, talk to our sales teams along the way. We're also monitoring the chat, so feel free to chat as you see something you like or have a quick question. We will try to get to those along the way. And we'll also have a few trivia questions and door prizes along the way today during this meeting, which should last about 45 minutes or so. So thank you for being with us. And right now, I'll turn it over to Rick French. Thank you.
Hey, Andy, can you hear me just fine? Good, good, good. So, we have a couple of things planned for you today, besides what Andy was talking about, a couple of surprises. But Andy, a last minute thought, I wonder if we should have a best COVID hair contest, because they could get exciting. So if anyone wants to participate by putting a picture of their mullet or their really large or unkempt hairdo on the chat room, I think that might be fun. All kidding aside, folks, thank you for coming today. As Andy said, we are with Polyconcept North America. Today we're going to speak specifically to 4 of our business units, Leads, Bullet, Journal Books, and Trimark. And we're going to, what we're going to try to do, and I think we'll do a really good job of it based on the planning we've done, is make sure that what we present to you is not just a bunch of product and how about this really cool cup, but really more about why a particular product or category or trend is working. And specifically, we're going to talk to you about some things that are happening now. Before we go any further, I want to confirm with somebody, and Kimberly Stunkel, I can see your head. So if you can confirm with a nod, yes, up and down, that you can see the title screen, perfect. Then I'll start there. So, boom. One of the things before we jump into the deep, why Goldner is good for you, and why that they partner with us, and really, this is why you go to Goldner, because they bring you the top training gift solutions across all categories, and that's where we help them. We help them to go from a real narrow focus to a very wide focus, allowing them to address more of your promotional and event needs ongoing. They provide a lot of customizable tools for you. They also provide kitting and gift packaging, and we'll talk about drop ships, which they've become very good at over the course of the last few months as your needs have changed. And certainly they're capable of bringing you high impact decoration capabilities through people like PCNA. So this is kind of a joint capabilities slide here, as you can tell. I think one of the most important things to take away is that through PCNA, Goldner is bringing you really strong domestic stock options. And that's important, especially this time of year and through this period that we're in, because let's face it, supply chains have been interrupted. It's tough to get stuff stateside, but we have enabled them to say yes more often to your promotional products. And moving into fourth quarter, that's going to be really, really important. So we want to make sure that we share some relevant products with you, some messages that are important. We want to show you some brands that we think are going to be impactful for you and for your, the end recipient of these products. We're going to make sure that we give you a reason to engage Goldner, to give you some more creative and unique solutions for the end of the year. And here, I'm just going to make a quick call to action for you, because as you go through this, there's a lot, and we tend to move fast, sometimes involuntarily. So as Andy said, use the chat room, take notes. If you see something that we don't get a chance to come back to, give us an opportunity to follow up with that. So, and it's more importantly, if you see something that works for an event that you have coming up, or you have an idea, engage your Goldner contact to engage us, and we can get you mock-ups, and we can get you samples, anything to move the business along for you. So this next slide is a bit of an introduction part. The folks that I have working with me today are Kimberly Stunkel, Mark Rizzi, and Jenny Caudle. They are PCNA sales managers from around the country. We wanted to bring in different geographies because they have exposure to different end user bases, to different climates, to different trends, et cetera. And they're going to do the most of the heavy lifting when it comes to products and category messaging. My job is to set them up and to show you a little bit about some of the retail and lifestyle trends that have driven the product development process up to now. So that's what this slide is doing. And I don't think you'll have a ton of questions based on this stuff. Instead, what this is going to do is level set why we bring products to market and why they're important to you and potentially to your end users. So the first trend I want to talk about, and this is no surprise to anybody, is sustainability. So, there have been a lot of people surveyed, and especially this is a big sample, but there were 1,000 people surveyed between the ages of 65 and 18, so from bottom to top, on how sustainable products and business practices drive their buying preferences. And despite price sometimes being a factor, sustainability still drives an action and really drives a message home, whether it's from your company or from a person. But what we learned was that, especially in this survey, that 47% of folks were willing to spend more money on a product that was sustainable because the message was that impactful and it's that important to them, to their future, and to their children's future. So we've developed product and messaging around sustainability. And you'll see a lot of kind of natural fibers and other things in our product designs. Another retail trend that drove design this year was something called street cred. And this is really something that was born of a subculture movement that was followed by surfers and skateboarders, and now has become a multifaceted phenomenon that really has, and I know you're seeing it on television because we're all at home, it's dominating the fashion industry. So where streetwear brands drew influence before on popular subcultures in mainstream society like punk rock and heavy metal and hip hop came about, you started to see brands like Stussy and Supreme and things like this where the trend went even further. So you'll see some of this look and style from us, and even some of our brands bring this in, brands like Skull Candy and Herschel, with which we know you're, or at least we hope you're fairly familiar. Now this next trend, this was true at the beginning of the year, and as I put this presentation together for Goldner for you today, I went back to see if it still had some credibility, because when we started with this, travel was up big time. Global travel, domestic travel was up. Obviously, we're not traveling right now, but an interesting phenomenon has taken place with the lack of travel, with the lockdowns that we're experiencing. People crave this global connection even more. So you'll see, it was lucky, if we're honest, that the global connection trend that we built into our product designs found a way to manifest itself in a pleasing way now. So you'll see that in some of the products that our team brings forward. So those are some of the retail and design trends. What's probably important for all of you to know is, what are the gifting trends? What are the buying trends right now? And that's two different sides, right? For the end users on the phone, you want to know what the gifting trends are. And then for the Goldner folks on the phone, they want to know what the buying trends are. So virtual life. And that means, everything for an organized and comfortable home office, the latest technology, what commuting options to get people back into the office. Virtual life and products that support it are driving buying and gifting behavior. People are really health conscious now. I tried to buy some weights recently for the family, and I couldn't find a dumbbell to save my life, either online or in the store when they finally reopened. It goes beyond just fitness, though. Germ protection. People want to feel safe and manage stress more than ever, so you'll see products that address that. Practicality. Look, businesses are looking for a way to support their employees and their communities. And I know for those of you out there that are in these roles serving employees and communities, that you can identify with that. We want to be able to show appreciation for folks' dedication and hard work. And you want to choose useful and meaningful gifts that are practical. And then there's this family focus. Look, the coronavirus has proved that everything around us is so temporary. So people want to engage their families even more. And I hate to share such an acute story, but I can tell you that as recently as 6 hours ago, my world was turned upside down with a head-on collision in the family. And I'm happy to talk about it because our family member is safe, hurt very badly, but is safe. And it just drives this family-focused thing home that much more. And I realized that I just risked turning this thing about me, and it wasn't meant to be. It was meant to talk about family focus. So that's it for my level set on talking about trends. I am going to bring this now and have a little fun with it. And hopefully I didn't talk too fast so that I can ask you this question and you have the answer. And by the way, ignore the Camelback Eddie dialogue here to the bottom right because it's irrelevant. We're giving away a prize for the folks that can, for the first person that can answer this. So if you can find the chat room function on your screen there, what percentage of people surveyed indicated that they would pay more for a sustainable product? And I can't see the chat room, so I'm hoping that someone's got it.
Hey, Rick, I think it looks like Shar Sabin won with 47%.
Way to go, Shar.
Yeah, man, you guys were all over that.
Well, what I know now is, well, two things. One, Shar, I'm going to tell you what you've won in a second, but two, I know that I haven't been speaking too fast. So Shar, these, the garments that you're seeing here are called the Dage quarter zip. And the quarter zip is just, or excuse me, half zip is a terminology that we use, but it's a half zip shirt that's made from 100% recycled materials. And so I'm actually wearing it now, as I believe is the rest of my crew. It's really comfortable, and don't let the recycled part fool you. I think you'll enjoy the piece. And if you would just get your size and color preference to your Goldner rep, or put it right here in the chat room, but your preference, send it to your Goldner rep, so that way I can get their address and things like that too. So next up is Kimberly Stunkel, who's the field sales manager in Nashville, Tennessee, and she's going to talk to us about some really great gifting options.
Ooh. Okay, so can you guys see my slide? Does it look okay, Rick? You're muted. You're muted, Rick, or Andy.
I still have Rick's slide up.
All right, does that look better?
There we go. Gifts of balance. Thank you.
All right, guys, we're all learning. I'm Kimberly. I am your rep in Nashville. And like everyone, we all face these technological challenges these days. I always thought I was very tech savvy, and we're learning as we go. So I'm here to talk to you about what is selling now. And what we're really seeing a big push towards is gifts of balance, increased engagement, creativity, productivity by investing in gifts that help employees unplug. So for better or worse, work-life balance has become even more important than it ever has been before. And being able to create a separation between your work life and your home life, it's just becoming that much more important as people are combining their home workspaces with also living at home. So we've had a ton of disruptions this year, but work-life balance really shouldn't just be a buzzword. It should be an integral part of your culture and manifest itself at every level of your business. So we're going to go through and we're going to find a few different ways that you can help your employees maintain that level of balance. So Rick really touched on this earlier, and I hope everything's okay with your family, Rick. Family gifts are going to be a huge, huge portion of what we're seeing sell right now. So anything that appeals to both your life as a family unit or to someone's children, to someone's pets. Speaking of my pet, my dog is running down the stairs as we speak. So that's always a solid point. Hopefully the mailman's not here. But we're seeing a big push towards games and entertainment, kid-friendly items, outdoor and barbecue. So anything that you're able to use at home. And then also pet supplies. One of our favorite things for sure is going to be a color at home bundle. That's an awesome way for you to appeal to both the adults in the workplace, but also something that they're able to share with their children and keep them occupied for the people who have little ones at home right now. We are also loving this Jenga, our version, the tumbling tower wood. That's a great way to play games with your family and keep everyone occupied. And I think we've said it a few times, but 2020 has been quite the doozy of a year. So we've had a whole new product category open up with PPE. Rick presented some really great 2020 trends, and PPE was certainly not on the trend forecast as of this January. So this is going to be something that has emerged with the growing demand for these pieces. So we're seeing a huge trend towards face coverings, hand sanitizers, no-touch keychains. We have a strong variety of face covering options. My favorites are going to be the ones with the full color decoration options, like this Amos Eco Snood or the Omi Flat Mask. The Amos Eco Snood is a killer option for those who are working outside, has a UPF rating, it's breathable, and it's also moisture wicking. So it's something that can transition really well as either a neck gaiter, you pull it up as a face covering, you can wear it as a headband. There are so many different uses for this. It's unbelievable. Highly recommend that piece. And it's also eco because it has the recycled polyester, much like the Dage that we just gave away. For hand sanitizers, I am highly recommending, as it's just very much a necessity these days to have the sanitizer. The carabiner options are killing it right now. So the carabiner options, you clip it on a backpack, you clip it on a purse, gives you that much more of an ROI with visual impressions. So people are walking around running errands with their new sanitizer on their backpack. They're seeing your logo that many more times. It's an awesome way to make something that people are using every single day and every single errand into something that really showcases a logo. And then last but not least, no contact keychains. These are awesome for gas pumps, for people when you're just trying not to touch things. So the no contact keychain in brass is amazing because brass is actually an antimicrobial material. Germs cannot grow on brass because it's made out of copper. Fun fact. All right, another 2020 twist. We are seeing a huge push towards virtual events. So while webinars were popular in the past, we've seen so many in-person events canceled and transition into a virtual format. So one of the great things about virtual events is they are a lot less costly than the travel expenses, the hotel rooms, the food and beverage that you'd be having if you were having a physical event. So this leaves some budget available for some swag bags, which are often, the best part of a convention anyways. So some ways to be a little bit more impactful. Highly recommend apparel for this. And we really also are seeing a big push towards some more high impact decoration areas. So whether you're decorating on the shoulder, this one has a nice little PCNA logo right at that front shoulder, so you're able to see it with the video screen, or on the collar, you're able to get a little bit more impact than you would have on a left chest decoration. So definitely keep in mind the decoration location on apparel. It keeps people looking similar throughout virtual events. Loving a charging journal. This is a great way for people to be able to take notes, but also have their phone charging at the same time. This Titus one that is pictured there has a pocket on the inside so your phone charges while you take notes. It keeps people from texting and Zooming. You want people paying attention to your event. You don't want people texting and Snapchatting and doing whatever else throughout it. So your phone is able to be there. It's close to you. It's in reach if you need it, but it's actually put away. Ultra thin wireless charging pad. So things that are good for the desk. This is going to be a killer desk piece. It's the size of about my palm, but it is incredibly thin. As the name suggests, it's ultra thin. So you get a huge amount of desk real estate for a wireless charger, but you also aren't taking up a whole lot of bulk on someone's desk. So for virtual events, I also highly recommend drinkware pieces. They're something that will stick around and also just make it a little bit easier for people to sit in the same place without having to get up and refill throughout the day. Also, something that works really nicely tying into events and work from home, journal books. So journal books are a line of USA-made journals. We have some eco options available. We're going to have full color tip-in pages available, as well as calendars and some custom fillers. These are especially useful for sharing information. So you can see we have some pre-selected and pre-drawn up information that you can just tip on into your custom journal on either new COVID policies. You can do some work from home tips. These are killer for virtual events as well, to give a schedule of what you're going to be doing throughout the day or the week. It just puts a lot of information in one place. And also it doesn't hurt that these things are made to order and in America. So we all like things that cut down on the supply chain these days. All right, well-being gifts. So Rick touched on this as well. Stress and anxiety are at an all-time high. So companies should be giving gifts that encourage self-care, such as hydration, fitness, and outdoor exploring. Being active helps the body to naturally reduce stress. And we have a variety of items in all different budgets. In the $5 budget, we have, some cooling towels and a resistance loop to help people keep in shape. For folks going back into work, but who want to be doing meal portioning, we have some really cool lunchbox ideas. Love, love, love the Sweet Straw food storage with utensils. It just, again, keeps everything nice and portioned and easy to put together. This Camelback Eddy, this is my #1 favorite water bottle for right now. I've personally been really struggling to drink enough water. I've been getting really bad headaches throughout the day just sitting in front of my desk. So this Camelback Eddy actually makes you drink 20% more water than other water bottles because it has the straw feature. So because it's so easy access, you drink throughout the day without thinking about it, and you actually take in 20% more water than other water bottles available. And then last but not least, Lumos rechargeable light up fitness belt. With the days getting shorter, this is going to be a killer option for people who are wanting to stay safe and have more visibility outside, and also means more visibility for your logo. All right, last but not least for me, gifts used on and off the clock. So giving a gift that can be used over and over throughout the day is a really strong way to build pride in your company culture. These are items that employees can have around the house, wear, take with them when they're out for a walk or running errands, and your employees will appreciate the gesture, and others will take notice of the useful items that your company is providing. So desktop items are really strong right now. Drinkware, especially for virtual happy hours, and again, just hydrating throughout the day, really, really selling strongly right now. And then we're also seeing a trend towards some more lightweight layering pieces. So the trend bleisure is going to become more and more in your everyday life. So business leisure, bleisure, and items I think that are going to be a little bit more casual are going to be more appropriate for the workplace. So with half the company working from home, some people working in the office, it just helps balance everyone to keep things a little bit more casual than maybe they were before. So these lightweight layering pieces, things that you can throw on for a Zoom meeting, things that you can throw on to go walk the dog, it's going to become more and more of an everyday item. All righty. And then getting into some trivia, what percentage more water do you drink from a Camelback Eddy than any other water bottle? And I can't see the chat, so I'm going to go.
Looks like Marianne Schroer. Marianne, I'm so sorry. Schroer is what I'm going to go with. And it was the first one to answer with 20%.
Awesome.
And some others were really, really, really close. So Jane and Lisa, I see you right there.
You guys are killing it with the participation.
Oh man, they're killing it.
Yeah, I hadn't been able to see the chat this whole time. This is great. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Jenny Caudle, our Orlando rep. She has been in a few different geographies and she kills it. So she's going to talk to you about holiday gifting.
Thank you so much. Hey, can everybody, if you know where the reaction button is on the bottom of the screen, can everybody throw up either a hand clap or a thumbs up for Kimberly and Rick for the awesome job that they did sharing with us?
Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. All right, so I am going to share my screen. Is everybody able to see it? Kimberly or Rick, can I get a thumbs up, please? All right, awesome. So thank you all again so much for joining us today. This is a really fun time of the year because this is really when we enter in gifting season. Don't let that scare you off. It does not have to be holiday gifting. So we're going to talk about some different types of gifts that can be given. And 45% of employees believe that their value at a company is reflected by the gifts they receive. This year, more than ever, the saying, "it's the thought that counts," is going to be more relevant. So many families have experienced a shakeup in 2020. I know that we all keep saying that, but really, I want you to know that Goldner can give you some amazing gift options no matter what your budget is. If it's something smaller that would be more of a stocking stuffer type item, or if you have a healthier budget for this year, wherever you find yourself, do not be intimidated by the thought of gifting because it really truly is an expression of you thinking about your employees or your customers. So I am going to move along. We have several different types of gifting that we are going to talk about. The first one is comfort gifts, and we're going to see this in a few different ways. So both Rick and Kimberly have talked about really how so many of us have shifted to working at home during this time. At the start of the pandemic and a steady continuation through even until now, blankets have been such an incredible seller. For 2020, it has not been about the weather being cold. It has been about the fact that you wrap yourself in a blanket and it gives you that feeling of comfort, that feeling of safety. It doesn't have to be a blanket that you utilize in your home. Picnic blankets have been great too, especially for those that really find peace and comfort in the outdoors and sharing time with family and friends outside. We also have some incredible fleece options at Trimark and really can do some amazing, large, high impact imprints on them. So other ways to really feel that comfort. Also, we've seen a great movement back towards ceramics. So for many years, ceramic mugs reigned supreme. And then around, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years ago is when that copper insulated technology hit the market for our tumblers and for drinkware on the go. But since many of us are staying put at home and working from home, ceramic mugs have really come back in a major way. We have some really amazing options. The one in the bottom right corner is going to be our Tahoe mug, and that comes with a wood lid that goes on. So it's going to keep your drink hot for longer, but it's also a great secondary imprint location where we can laser etch the logo on it. So quite a few different things we're working at in terms of keeping cozy. We also have a variety of items for self-care as well. So whether that's something, again, in a lower price point, like a 4-piece spa set for somebody to go and relax, or even something that is really more for home entertaining. So entertaining maybe those close family and friends in a safe way, maybe outdoors, but wine and cheese sets or housewares are really great gift at this time of year. Moving on to the next slide is gifts of appreciation. And again, going back to the statement that I made in the very beginning, this year is really about the thought that counts. So again, don't be intimidated by some of the items that you are seeing on here. The point is, again, whatever your budget, there is going to be something available for you. So we look at gifts of appreciation and we think these are gifts like thank you gifts. A lot of employees have had to step up and take on additional roles since the pandemic began. Whether or not that's an additional role maybe in their job or maybe additional responsibilities because their children were having to do distance learning at home or whatever the case may be. So there are a lot of different opportunities and ways that you can say thank you. A couple of different categories that we have written down. We have some amazing outerwear at Trimark. And again, some incredible decorating techniques. So if you don't want simply a left chest logo, which is still amazing, we have options to imprint down the sleeve, across the back, over the side seam. So some really beautiful imprint areas to give that gift of appreciation. Another type of gifts of appreciation would be celebrating anniversaries and achievements. And again, we look at items that can be really more of those award type items. So something like a nice knife set or a wine set. So many different items, and your Goldner rep is always happy to give you some options that you can look through to really pick what best fits your brand. This is probably my favorite. These are gifts that make a difference. So I know you have already answered a trivia question, so you have heard the statistic already before, but 47% of people surveyed were willing to spend more money on a sustainable product because the message is that impactful. It is no secret that we are causing, global warming, that there are things happening around us because we need to be better at recycling and repurposing items that have typically been thrown away and continue to build on the waste. And so we have a variety of items. It's our collection called EcoSmart. We have options starting at under 50 cents, going up into the $60 range, everything from pens to jackets to backpacks to drawstring bags, and really everything in between. So we are going to hit nearly every single category with our EcoSmart products. The best part is that for any of our eco products, we will donate 1% of the sale of that order to an organization called 1% for the Planet. Within that, we partner with 2 charities. The first is called Well Aware, and they build clean water systems in third world countries. And the other charity is One Tree Planted, in which for every $1 we donate, they plant 1 tree. And this is actually a global effort of reforestation. So we are fully behind those charities. We love their mission, and we are so blessed to be able to contribute to them through our EcoSmart products. So again, looking to the bottom of the screen at the very left, we have one of our eco wearable pieces, which is the Rincon packable jacket. It is a great lightweight jacket, very easy for layering for really that fall and spring weather. Or if you live in Florida, it's definitely appropriate for year round and right in the middle of winter. Parkland is a phenomenal retail brand that we carry. All of their products, are made from recycled plastic bottles. So they have such a great message, but beyond that, their pieces are such high quality, so well made, and just beautiful and very retail looking. So that is really an overview of the different types of gifting. I'm sure that we're going to have some answers pop up here in a second, but my trivia question, and I am giving away the double-sided plaid Sherpa blanket. What design trend started as a movement by skateboarders and surfers? So someone's gonna have to help me out here. Do we have an answer? Do we have a winner?
We do. I was taught this. So, Jody, you were close. Jody Gillen came in first, but you missing one word that came up by Lisa Ackley. It's street cred. Stacy, you were the first to answer, but Stussy is one of the brands that came up through the street cred movement. So still really good memory. But the winner is Lisa Ackley. And the answer is street cred was the design trend that started off as a movement by skateboarders and surfers.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. And I am now going to pass this over to Mark Rizzi, who, as most of you will notice, has named himself Kimberly Stunkel. So not to be confused with Kimberly, who already presented.
He signed in from my he signed in from my link.
Oh, got it. Right. So Mark is the one in the bow tie, but Mark is our Texas field sales manager, and he is going to share a little bit about some of our amazing retail brands that are available through PCNA. So thank you everybody for listening, and Mark, take it away.
Hey Mark, before you get started, bud, we're on. You have that notes section.
Well, I knew that was going to happen. That's my apologies.
It's all right. The good news is we knew it was going to happen, so we got it before you started jumping in.
So that should do it.
Almost.
Good.
Still have the notes. Not that it's.
Nope. How about now?
There you go.
Whew. Sorry about that. Thank you for the introduction, Jenny. Following all of these acts is probably going to be the most difficult, but the best thing about my section is that every one of those themes and trends that we see kind of correlate right into the brands. And at PCNA, we have 45 brands, some notable ones being Kenneth Cole, Carhartt, Camelback, Cutter and Buck, Zippo, just to name a few. And the best thing about retail brands, it's that usefulness and what are you giving your employees that make them feel valued? And it really signifies what you come across as a company culture. And just a few of the brands to touch base on this slide is Trimark, which is our Route 73, which is our Trimark brand partner, Herschel, which was one of the most sought after brands within the promotional industry. We have super deep inventory for the holiday season because this is where we usually see an uptick in those sorts of brands. We have Thule and then also Cross. And one of the newest brand partners that we brought on was Skull Candy. I'm actually utilizing the Sesh Evo that we've received for our national sales meeting, which has been nothing short of amazing. I use these headphones for every single meeting I do. And Skull Candy was the first company to innovate the push-to-talk feature. The founder was on a ski lift and found it quite annoying that he wasn't able to answer his phone call. He would have to take his headphones out. He would have to then, put the phone up to the ear, put it back in. So that was kind of the lifting off point for Skull Candy. And the two main things to get out of this that's driving their business as well as ours is wireless headphones and true wireless headphones. And we have over a dozen of their SKUs in stock, and inventory will never be an issue because we can actually pull from their domestic stock as well. And they hold the #1 position for brands under $100 and second overall to Apple in the market. And so depending on what kind of style you enjoy, we have the true wireless, we have over the ears, and then we just have wired headphones as well, starting at $10, going all the way up to $365. And, talking about useful items, depending on if you have kids around, for me, I have a roommate, having active noise canceling has been a huge benefit to not only my mental health, but also the clarity in when I'm speaking to everyone virtually. And Cross has been one of the better brand partners throughout the years. They're true and tried, one of the most recognizable writing instruments, I'd say, in the world. It comes with a lifetime guarantee. And I had actually gotten to meet the partner for us, the VP of sales, and he said, you know, if you're doing anything of significance, you know, whether it's signing a house, closing $1 million deal, you don't want to be handed a plastic pen. You want to be handed something that has some weight, that writes very seamlessly, and that provides value where you feel comfortable with doing whatever transaction you were doing. So we have several different styles that come in sets, retail style packaging, and just ultimately coming into the holiday season is always a well-received gift, especially if you pair it with one of the journal books that Kimberly had talked about, or one of the Cross notebooks as well. And this is another new partner that we've introduced in the past couple of years. The company is Welly. It's a retail style brand. Actually, you could find them at Nordstrom, Anthropologies. It's going back to that sustainable and gifts that have meaning, because this goes towards the 1% for the planet. And this is a really touching story. So Ben, the founder, and his mom used to travel to Africa to help build wells for sustainable drinking in Eastern African communities. And unfortunately, his mom had passed away several years ago to cancer. Her name was Ellen, Ellie for short. And to honor her legacy, he founded this company, Welly. It's made with real bamboo on the bottom, where we can either laser engrave on the bamboo or pad print on the actual mug itself. And if you're looking at the Traveler, there's a unique feature when you open up the top. There's a spot where you can actually steep tea, or if you're someone who has sensitive teeth, it actually prevents the ice from slapping you in the mouth. I heard a quick laugh, so thank you for that. And here is the apparel brand partner we have in Route 73, and it's a globally recognized brand. If anyone had seen the movie Cool Runnings, the owner of Roots had actually designed the leather jackets for the 1988 Jamaican bobsled team. So hearing their story was really fascinating, and they're very true to their principles. So Jane, I saw that you were with Houston Methodist Hospital, and I know every single hospital I've been into runs extremely cold. So when you think about useful gifts of feeling comfort, look no further than Route 73, whether it's the Riverside or South Lake. Those are two things that would fit perfectly into a hospital setting. But then if you look at the Gravenhurst and Beach River, you know, that's useful for, I wouldn't say necessarily Texas, but definitely for other parts of the country. And Rocketbook is one we just launched this year too. It was actually on, I believe, the Ellen Show, but really phenomenal technology. If you think about everything going on in the world and, you know, the push for this digital life that we're all experiencing, I think this is one of the most phenomenal gifts, especially coming to the holidays, where you're able to write down all your notes, send it to Slack, send it to the cloud, send it to an email, and continue with your day. You don't need to write it down on a piece of paper and then type it out and be able to send it to all of your teammates. And last but not least is Thule, another globally recognized brand. Just one unique feature as we're going into the holiday season is that we offer up to 7,500 stitches free on bags. And depending on what you're looking for, we hit all different price points, whether it's the Power Shuttle that's around $25, you know, going up to their duffel that's well over $100. You know, we fit all different price points, and it's the perfect mix between functionality and durability. And Kimberly used this term before, and it's perfectly applicable for Thule. It's bleisure. I actually utilized my Thule bag going into meetings, well, when we had in-person meetings, and I'm completely comfortable bringing that into, you know, a C-level meeting, or bringing it around when I'm traveling, knowing that it's going to fit all of my, whether it's my laptop, my shoes, anything for carry-on. And some of their products are actually BlueSign approved, which BlueSign is an independent verifier that tracks the entire supply chain of an item being manufactured to ensure that it has the least environmental impact as possible. And for my trivia question, you would actually be receiving the Heritage Notice 15-inch computer backpack with BlueSign approved material. So my trivia question is, how many brand partners does PCNA have? Let me know if anyone.
No. it was a much higher number. Elizabeth, you're close. Let's stop. Elizabeth is 45. Elizabeth Dahl or Dole is the winner.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone's time today. I'm going to pass it along to Rick. And thank you again.
That was awesome. Thanks, Mark. So, Mark, if you or Kimberly, whichever one of you is controlling it, if you would stop sharing, that'd be great. I'm going to take it back over here and
You're
get
good.
us a spot to begin to talk about some other things. So, actually, let me do this. Let me just talk to you for a second here. I'm taking this off, and cool. So we just that's it for the product part of it and the trend part of it. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things that Goldner is able to offer you through PCNA now to help this gifting process. Then I'll do a quick recap, and then I'll hand it back over to Andy. But first of all, first a quick round of applause for all the people that won the trivia. Thank you for paying attention. That last number was hard to get. That was a hard one to get, and people were really close. So, all right. So when I talk about tools to help you facilitate gifting, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So as we have made our way through this crisis and we begin to ship to more people's homes or independent businesses or any place other than a collective spot to distribute gifts, packaging has become a big deal. So we've just launched an idea, or not an idea, but a service where you can actually send these gifts, whether they're one-offs or they're kitted together as a group of gifts, and have it come in a gift package. So there's a sturdy box that comes out with a custom sticker and a customized note card on the inside, so that you don't just show up with what essentially is an Amazon box or a UPS box showing up with a bunch of stuff in it. It's actually an experience. And that's what this is all about. It allows you to make more of an impact. When Jenny talked about give gifts of appreciation, this is the stuff that takes it to the next level. And then just to take that one step further, I'm not going to talk about a program, but I do want to just make it very clear to you that we are capable, or Goldner is capable of drop shipping these programs all over the country to homes, to apartments, to businesses, to whatever makes sense. It's really not an issue for them to facilitate this through us. So the point is, we're going to make this very, very easy for you. So a couple of things that are what's next. Of all the stuff you saw today, it's really the tip of the iceberg. So I saw a handful of ideas and requests for ideas come through the chat. The call to action for you is to engage your Goldner contact to talk through those ideas. They will then engage us so that we can help them with virtuals, mock-ups, samples, things that'll help you, that really bring you to the place of closure for your gifting needs. Talk about your gifting plans early with your Goldner Associates contacts, because I'll tell you what, one of the things well, first of all, it's going to get very crowded in terms of a production schedule toward the end of the year, but also this is going to be, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he had to go get that doll for Christmas, and he went all over town trying to get it and no one could have it, or no one had it. It's the same situation here. By the end of October, that blue blanket that you want with the fleece may or may not be there. So get this stuff done early. Stock up for your holiday needs. So before I hand it back over to Andy, I just want to kind of bring it back full circle. If you think about the trends that I talked about early on, I probably could have done a little better job of pointing them out along the way. So I'll just recap it. Remember, we talked about sustainability. We certainly talked about recycled materials. But what you may not have noticed is in some of the mugs, for instance, where there was bamboo or natural materials that were exposed, that's where that sustainability piece manifests itself within the promotional products that we showed you today. Street cred was one of the trends we talked about. That shows itself in the way of a hoodie, in the way of funky decorations on shoulders. It shows itself in the Thule brand, in the Skull Candy brand, and many other areas. So that's how we bring a little bit of street cred. We talked about global connections. This actually blends with the natural and sustainability initiative that I talked about, especially when you think about bamboo, right? And some of the bright colors that come through some of the products that we showed. So that's how those trends manifest themselves in the products and how you can leverage them when you're talking to your gift recipients. We talked about virtual life gift giving. We talked about the importance of being health conscious when you gift gifts. We talked about practicality, and we talked about family focus, and we showed you products that really addressed each one of those. But we only showed you about 4 or 5 products per trend. And the message there is, remember, if you go back to the beginning, I said we're deep stock in thousands of products. So the call to you is engage that Goldner contact of yours so that they can bring you much more than what you saw on screen today. That's what they're the best at, and we're going to help them close it for you. So that's all I've got. Thank you on behalf of PCNA. Andy, if you're out there, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And
yeah, thank you, Rick.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. And thank you for everyone just sitting through this. Jenny, Mark, Kimberly, all of y'all did a great job. Thank you. I know it's a lot to go through in a short period of time, but we are here to make things easy for you and want to assist with all your engagement, whether it's any of your constituents, your employees, and making things easy for you. Again, if there's something that you've seen that you've liked today, please email us, call your Goldner sales rep. If you won a prize today, we'll reach out to you so we can make sure to get the right shipping address that you prefer. And, again, just thank you so much. We appreciate your business and relationships. Please stay safe and have a great afternoon.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.